congratulations, Brandon, on making the Tour Championship. First time?
First time, yeah.
Yeah. It's exciting?
It was really exciting, yeah.
Yeah. To make this event means you've played well over the year. I mean, there's, like I said, the top 12 are here, and there's 300 bowlers that compete. So that says a lot for your year.
For sure.
What were your highlights for?
I guess I started at the Autumn Open. I made my first shift, actually. So I came back to the tour. This is the first time I was going to take a crack at it, just see if I could go all in. And I think my first shift was like 17 and change. So I went in, okay, this is a good start to my season. The second shift came back a little bit better. Shot over 22, made the cut there, and then continued on. I made top 40.
Yeah.
And then through that, I got to top 16, and that's where we'll stop talking about that.
Yeah, I noticed. I looked at the results there, and I mean, you finished fairly high in the qualifying. The first two, you were 2,200 in the world, and then was it just the grind of the 15 games, or?
I think I just kind of crashed. Like I couldn't get anything on my ball, and everything I was doing, I was punching my lights out, and just was a long haul. I started okay. I think I went four wins in my first 5 matches, and then just kind of went flat and couldn't find it anymore. It's tough.
What did you learn from that? Like,
there were lots of positives. Like I learned that I'm right there with the best of them. I can compete with everyone out here, and I mean, going home, just maybe have a few more adjustments up my sleeve when I start to struggle, and try that. So after that, my next tournament, I guess, would have been Winnipeg, where we just had some family commitments, so I was only able to play 1 shift, and I didn't play well enough to make the cut there. But then moving on past that, Regina, I played really well. I ended up one shifting. I shot 23 to qualify, and then I got all the way into the match against Parker in the semifinals, and I mean, I was down that whole match. He was in control, but I squeaked out or put the pressure on. I think frame 4 in game 3, I was like, you know what, if you throw some good shots here, you can put the pressure on and make him throw in 10, and I did. I made him have to throw that shot in 10 to move on.
Well, you threw the back 6,
and
forced him to basically get a mark.
And that's
what it comes down to, a 23 count. Yeah.
After 3 games, if you can make your opponent have to shoot.
These matches, you go into this event, especially Regina, you know it's a high-scoring center.
Yeah.
How do you approach each match?
Regina, I've always had good. I've played well in Regina. I've had good confidence there, and qualifying just kind of helped that go through to the match play. Leading up to that, I hadn't had a lot of success in match play. I think the last time I made the cut in Regina, I lost bang right away. But this time I was throwing well. I had good confidence, and just leading up to Parker's match, everything was going really well. And I shot really well against Parker. Ended with the last 6, made him throw in 10, and
good for you.
I was happy with it. I mean, you never want to lose, but that's a good way to lose. I left him in the lanes.
And when you get to that point, you've earned, it's a good paycheck, right? It's early in the year, halfway through the season, and you've got some bowling money to play with.
Yeah.
So then did you play Heritage?
The traditional, yes. I played that one. And similar to the Autumn Open, I started out slow, had a pretty poor first shift, but then second shift came back and shot well enough to make the cut. I was happy with it, and then had a really good run. Actually, I made it all the way to 8s, and in 8s I played really well. I think I averaged 290 for the 8 or 7 games, and I just couldn't win many. I think I won 2 matches in the 7.
Right.
One being against my buddy Will from Winnipeg, 390, 385 or something like that. Yeah, it was one of the best matches I've been a part of. But yeah.
So again, feels good.
Yeah, felt really good.
Yeah. Now you play in the pro league.
I do. Yeah, I was a member of the Snowmen this season, and that was the first for me too. Just getting used to the virtual aspect of it and playing on one lane and just kind of being alone in the center. But it was a lot of fun, and we put up some pretty good results. So I was happy.
You live in Portage la Prairie?
I do. Yeah.
So you travel in?
I do. Yeah.
How many leagues?
I just play one league typically. That was the Friday night All-Star League at St. James. So I travel in once a week. It's about an hour each way, so 2 hour round trip for me to play on Friday nights.
Pretty competitive league?
Very competitive, yeah. Really, I was happy I went all in. I went in with the tour, and I played in this league just to kind of keep me going and keep the competitive fire up. So, yeah.
Very competitive in Winnipeg. The bowling in Winnipeg, they've got a lot of, there's a lot of strong players in there, and they've got a lot of houses. Like, it's one of the few cities that still has quite a few 5-pin centers, so obviously 5-pin is doing very well.
Yeah,
Winnipeg.
I would say there's a lot of competitive leagues in Winnipeg too. I kind of lean towards Friday nights just because it's closest to the perimeter for me to get in and out in an hour. But I think there's some in Rossmere, Dakota, and Polo Park as well that throw some good games for sure.
So how did you get started in bowling?
My parents actually bought the bowling alley in Minnedosa, Manitoba when I was 4. So we relocated from Ottawa, and then been bowling ever since.
Okay.
Yeah.
Laurie Greider from Minnedosa?
Laurie Stevenson. Yeah,
Laurie Stevenson now? Yeah, okay.
One of my best friends is her daughter Sarah, and we go a long way. So we were always at the lanes together growing up, and it was
and her brother?
Bob.
Bob.
Yeah, he's such a great man.
Yeah, had some great success. As it turns out, my wife bowled against Laurie when she was in the open and that type of thing. So
I always aspired to bowl with Laurie coming from Minnedosa, but she kind of had other life occurrences go on, and it never happened. But still might be on the table, right? Bowling is a generational sport, so
absolutely. So did you have much success in YBC?
YBC, not so much. I always made it to provincials. I had a lot of silver medals, but I never made a YBC national.
Okay.
But youth challenge, I had a little bit more success with. I think I made 3 nationals, and then we actually won national gold twice back-to-back years in 2010 and 2011.
Yeah, that's such a nice event for people that play in smaller centers, don't get the opportunity to compete with strong teams in YBC. So the youth challenge, you're individual, and then you make a national team. Yeah,
that opened up my bowling career per se. Coming from Minnedosa, small town of 3,000, kind of intimidating going into Winnipeg, knowing all the talent and camaraderie they already have to try to squeeze your way in there. But youth challenge was definitely a door that opened up my competitive bowling journey.
Yeah, and I think bowling is fairly welcoming. So once you're there, you establish yourself, then you feel comfortable. So the next year, obviously, a little easier after you make it the 1 year, and then the bowling
community in Manitoba is amazing. So welcoming and supportive, and everyone back home is supporting me right now. I've had a bunch of messages today, so
excellent.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, good for you. So how many events do you think hoping to play next year?
Next year's going to be tricky. We're actually, my wife and I are expecting our 3rd child September. End of September.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and so life's going to be pretty busy. I'm not sure if I'll make 1 or 2. That'd be a dream, but it might be on the back burner for the next year.
So you just play what you can.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you've got 2 little girls now?
I do. Yeah. Shar is 6 and Emmy is 4, and then we have a little boy coming.
Oh, you know it's a boy.
I know it's a boy. Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Thrilled. Yeah. I can't wait to
Congratulations.
meet him. Yeah, thank you.
Good. Game, you're going to be playing against Parker.
Right.
So, little revenge potentially from what happened in Regina?
There could be, yeah. It was a really fun match in Regina, and I hope that we put together a good match again, and there's lots of good shots made. And
so this, again, it's an honor to make the top 4, because then you don't have to play that 1 extra match.
Right.
How do you feel about that?
This is brand new. This is my first tour final, so even coming in today and just having a break up until I think we're match 7 when I'm up to play. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
try to keep myself loose and throw some shots.
You've watched a lot of good bowling already, so yeah. I mean, have you experienced Pins game before? I mean, other than like last night, you had a little experience with it?
That would have been my first experience.
First time?
Nothing really. There was never TSN or CBC for me when I got to the competitive level. So this is brand new.
So do you look at it differently with it being the Pins game? Are you just trying to play? I'm just going to play as well as I can.
Yeah, I'm gonna play as well as I can, but I'm trying to go in with the mindset that every frame is a fresh start.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you can run a few marks together, but you're essentially tied at the beginning of each frame, right? So
Right.
try and get there and just
Yeah, it's a
start
good way to
fresh.
look at it,
Yeah,
and just
try my best.
regardless of what's happened at the
That's right.
before, just keep going, and if you get ahead, just keep the pedal down.
Yeah, let's try our best.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Good luck to you the rest of the way, and
Appreciate it.
hopefully we see you again next
I
year.
hope so. Thank
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How was that?
It was fun, nerve-wracking. I didn't think
Yeah.
I would be as nervous as I was. You know, you get that first frame jitters out, you think, okay, you're going to be fine after that. And
Yeah.
nope, the nerves just
Nope.
kind of progressed to all 10 frames. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to do that. It's kind of mono a mono.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah. So, little rough start to begin with, and then started to just found it.
Yeah, I
found the
mean,
groove.
kind of just, got a lucky break in two. We both threw, a good ball in one. I got a head pin chop into spare it.
Yeah.
So I get up 2-0, and then I lose the next 4 frames on 2 carryovers. I'm down 4-2, and I just said, I think you're overthrowing the ball a hair. So
Yeah.
corner spare, luckily he opened there, got down 4-3, and then I threw a 4-bagger out to kind of just force him to make shots, and luckily, got a few openings, and yeah, took advantage. So
So you-
just said the adrenaline is clearly there. You don't
Yeah.
need to throw it. Just take a hair off the ball and and it started to work. I got a little bit more splash. And
Yeah. You could feel the difference. Like
I said something's got to change. You're down 4-2. I said something's got to change here.
You weren't getting the height. You weren't getting the hits.
Right.
They
And then
carried.
I got one thick one too that I thought, well, that's kind of bricky, maybe a chop, and it was a strike. I said, learn from that shot.
Yeah.
And yeah, just replicate it. Hopefully.
Yeah. Good. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well done.
Awesome.
Keep it up.
Thank you.